Thank you guys so much for being here. So this is a really fun Essential Oils 101 that we wanted to share with you guys. It's been a while since we've done one, but we're going to share a little bit of our stories, a little bit about like what led us to essential oils, how we've used them, why we chose Young Living, and what we're most excited about. So I am Kylie Carey. I am a silver leader with Young Living Essential Oils. We've been sharing, I think for most of us, we've been sharing for almost 7 years, if not 7 years, like 6.5. I am a mom of 2 littles, 4-year-old and 6-year-old. I am a single mom. I unschool, and so we like to do everything outdoors and learn all about the environment and the plants and the animals, and just how things grow. But prior to I was starting to think about the things that I was putting in my body. I was consciously aware that at the time I was pregnant, so I was aware that everything that I was putting in or on my body was going to affect my child. And so I avoided like hospitals and doctors, not because I had anything against them, but I just, through past experiences, I learned that I was more likely going to get like a Band-Aid for my symptoms versus like getting to the root of the issue. Like I really wanted to know like how my body worked and why things were happening, and what my body needed so that it would thrive and flourish. So I already knew a few ways that I could take care of things naturally, and that helped me get through 2 home births and all that fun stuff. But my midwife, my naturopathic, and then my addiction to researching were guiding me a bit on this wellness journey. Do you guys want to?
Yeah,
share?
So I'm Jasmine, and I'm a gold leader with Young Living Essential Oils. Like Kylie said, I have been with Young Living for actually about, as a business, about 5.5 years, but I've been a member since 2013. Officially, August was 6 years.
Woo! Woo!
You know the exact dates.
Yeah, because I've had to look it up a couple times. But so I originally got started because we're gonna shuffle.
Oh, I like this. This is fun.
Sorry, I like to have scroll moments. So I originally got started though because my daughter had chronic ear infections, and even though we were going to the doctors and doing what the doctors were saying, which included lots of rounds of antibiotics and tubes, she still continued to get ear infections. And I was using essential oils in my laundry to help it smell good because I knew how bad dryer sheets were. So I figured there was something else to it. On top of that, I grew up in an Asian household, and we used a lot of herbs for medicinal purposes. And so if the oils came from the herbs, surely there was something to it. So I went to a 101 class just like this, and then with my addictive ability to research, I spent the next like 2.5 days researching everything that had to do with essential oils, all the different companies. And what sold me on Young Living was the Seed to Seal Promise. If you're not sure what that is, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but it's basically the commitment of Young Living from the time the seed is placed into the ground until the time the seal is put on the bottle, that there will be complete control over the cleanness of the product being produced, the integrity, purity. And they go so far as to have lots of different testing done on it, in-house, out-of-house, as well as meaning federal and other countries' guidelines, because we are a multinational company. So cool. And so we dipped in and we got our kit, and sure enough, like the next time she had an ear infection, we used Purification and Thieves. I think we also used like raw garlic and honey and things like that, which we were already doing. But she did not need antibiotics, and she never, like, her ears always burst, and they didn't burst. And so she got better. In the 6 years since I've had oils, she's had 2 ear infections since then, and we've used oils every single time. I know she's had ear infections because I do take my kids to the doctor, because I personally like to have their professional opinion on what they have so that I can go home and do my oils on them.
I love it.
Yeah. That's my
Yeah,
story.
I love it. Okay,
Shuffle.
so can we please shuffle? Yes. Okay, so my name's Heather Ambrose, and I also got started around the same time, and so that was almost 7 years, slightly before Kylie and Jasmine. And I got started because a year or so before I started using oils, my dad had a heart attack, and and my grandma had just died of a heart attack a few years before. So it really made me think about what I was putting in my body coming from that line, and kind of like Jasmine, the more I researched, the more I found out, the more I found I didn't want to go the traditional route. Especially I'd seen, family members go the traditional route, and there's all these hidden side effects and hidden other symptoms. And so I was a first-year teacher. I found myself getting sick so much. I would get a cold every month, every other month. It would turn into a sinus infection. I would get allergies. It would turn into a sinus infection. And I found myself having to go to urgent care a lot, and, paying the copay and all this stuff. And so my friend told me about the oils. And at first I kind of blew her off, but then I started using them, and I started using something called Thieves and Inner Defense when I would get a sinus infection. And I was amazed because if I did those things, sometimes lemon and oregano, I would also stop eating dairy and wheat, cut out those things that make mucus, and I found that I've been able to get rid of every single sinus infection naturally ever since, and even help support my immune system with things like Thieves, Inner Defense, Ningxia Red, obviously lots of sleep. I've also done like echinacea and stuff like that. So yeah, that's been amazing for me, just using it on myself for my digestion. My husband uses it for his digestion too. So he has IBS, and so the digest helps kind of just like ease his stuff just a little bit, so with other medications that he's taking, but it does help. So yeah, I love oils. I've been using them for 7 years. I started, I had a passion telling my friends all this information that I was learning about this stuff. And so I needed a second job as a teacher, not making very much money. So I thought, what better way to supplement my income than to share about this thing that I'm so passionate about, that I'm learning so much about. So it's been a really great journey. I've got to meet people like Kylie and Jasmine. And I was actually able to surpass my income as a teacher with Young Living through, being consistent, putting in consistent hours after teaching. But again, like I said, it's something that I love, something I'm really passionate about. So it's just been a huge blessing. Great way to go. All right, I'll give it back to Kylie. She's going to talk about more stuff.
A little bit about FDA,
Our best friends.
our best friends.
FDNA.
Isn't it you're supposed to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer?
Yes. So when I was first introduced to essential oils by my friend Andrea, I had told her like, oh yeah, I've been buying some from the store, and she let me know, because I didn't know this. The FDA has no regulations on essential oils, and so the bottle that you buy from the store, it'll say 100% pure, but on the side it will say not for internal use. And so just a heads up, essential oil companies only need 5 to 10% of the oil in the bottle, and then they can fill with whatever they want, stretchers, carriers, preservatives, and then they can put 100% pure on the label. So make sure you are reading your labels. Another thing that I thought was interesting is when I smelled the bottle of peppermint that I got from the store, and then I smelled a bottle of peppermint from Young Living, I noticed that the bottle from the store smelled like candy canes. And then this bottle actually smelled like peppermint, like from the plant, the leaf. And so that was a really huge distinction to to think about, like, okay, like, well, what is in this bottle? Because I thought it was peppermint, and I thought you could use peppermint internally and make like a peppermint tea or something. Come to find out you can't. So when she told me this, I, you know, similar to Jasmine.
It is Jasmine.
It'll kill you.
It might, like,
Yeah.
You don't know what's in
You'll
there?
have side effects.
people
For
do
sure.
actually, like, Marion Bartlett. Perfect example. Sorry, Marion, we call you.
I love Marion.
She's the one. She used an off-brand lavender, and her kid got really sick, and that's why she swore off oils for a year and a half until our friend Amber forced her to try Young Living Lavender on Timmy, and that's when it changed for her.
I didn't know that was her story.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, son.
Dangers.
Stranger
oil
so
dangers.
What we found was that Young Living stood apart. Oh my gosh. But a little bit about the seed to seal, like Jasmine mentioned, you know, they've been around, Young Living's been around for 25 years. Their farms and partner farms abide by the strict standards that Jasmine mentioned. They also hand weed and use their own oils on plants for pest control to avoid toxic chemicals. They harvest at peak times. They distill on site without chemicals, and they test every batch. If it doesn't meet their standards because of weather conditions or for any other reasons, they're not even going to bottle it up to like give it to their members. But so all of these things are in the Seed to Seal Promise. And we've had the honor of seeing it several times at the Lavender Farms in Mona, Utah. I don't know if you've been up the stretch, is it what, the I-15 in Utah, but if you look out into these fields, there's like lavender and clary sage and juniper. But you can go and tour these farms anytime. And you also get to like go through the distilleries and see how their labs work. We've been about probably 4 or 5 times now, I would say.
6 has gone every.
Oh my gosh. So 6. But we follow more and more with. Wait, what?
I said emerald right here. Numbers matter.
Emerald, okay. But
numbers matter.
we fall more in love with Young Living, like their quality and the integrity that they offer to all of their members. And I love to know, like, if I'm using lavender oil, it is therapeutic grade lavender oil. I don't have to worry about anything else extra in it, especially as a mom wondering, like, what's going in your child's system. So I'm not surprised that Marion was like, no more essential oils. But if you're curious, what are essential oils, Jasmine?
Essential oils are the. Sorry, I'm trying to make a post on Unfiltered
Oils.
Are the lifeblood of the plant. Basically, all that means is that it's in a crude sense, it's defense mechanism, and so we are lucky enough to be able to. I want to make this really morbid because it's Halloween, but I'm not going to process it out of the plant using either cold press methods or steam distillation processes. And from there, we separate it from the hydrosol, which is basically the water.
Oh my God.
Love
So
it.
that-
Science teacher.
So that the oil
Science
cells.
to me.
Talk science to you.
Yeah.
So that the oils separate from the water. And then from there, you know, they just pull that off and then they bottle it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to use their defense mechanisms on our bodies. The cool thing, am I going too far?
You're great.
No, you're great.
The cool thing about essential oils, and well, actually it's kind of a scary thing, is that, you know, your skin's your largest living organ, and it takes about 20 minutes for when you put something on for it to hit every cell of your body, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. So like that's part of the reason why like what you wash your clothes in is very important, because that sits on your body pretty much 24 hours a day, because I would wager that most people don't sleep fully naked. But even then, if you do,
You better wash your sheets.
you're
Something
still
good.
sleeping on your sheets. And so your skin's absorbing all of that. You put lotion on, your skin's absorbing that. You wash your hands, your skin's absorbing that. So it's really important that we be careful what we put into our bodies, that they're high quality, clean. I like that term, products. You guys used integrity or whatever you said earlier. But
Purity.
Purity.
All those words.
But so anyway, that's why it's really important that we're careful with what we put on our bodies. And that is also part of why we go so far as to tell you to look at the labels of the essential oils you have at home that are not Young Living. I will say, and this is not highly looked upon. But, you know, some people do get benefits from other essential oil companies. I'm not going to lie about that.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that I know literally from the time the seed goes into the ground till the time the label and the seal are put onto my bottle of oils that there's been no herbicides, no pesticides. Right. It's been hand weeded, which costs like $20,000 an acre, right? What's that? What is the statistic? We'll look it up.
I don't know.
But, okay, sorry. Scroll over.
Oh my God.
So did you know that in a typical farmed plot of land, it costs 60 cents an acre to treat for, to de-weed with
with like the Roundup.
Thank you.
Stuff.
With the spray, the weed spray. 60 cents.
Okay.
But Young Living does it all by hand. And it literally costs like 15 to 20,000 an acre. So you really are paying for a way better quality
I love how they
product.
invest in us like that.
Yes, a way better quality product than other companies. And I don't know about you. I don't know if you are reading the news about Roundup and pesticides and herbicides
Glyphosate.
and how many companies are losing battles to causing cancer in the people who they've employed or the people who've purchased their products. Yeah, because they're finding overall that it is the cause. So it's very interesting. Anyways, and tangent.
I love it.
Tangent.
That was great. Okay, so going into like hand weeding and picking and harvesting at peak times, right? Here's a few facts and figures. So 60,000 rose blossoms provide only 1 ounce of rose oil. Lavender is abundant. You need 220 pounds, and that will provide 7 pounds of oil. Jasmine flowers,
I do
must be picked by hand before the sun becomes hot on the very first day that they open, thus making it one of the most expensive oils in the world. It takes 8 million hand-picked blossoms to produce 2.2 pounds of oil. A sandalwood tree must be 30 years old and 30 feet high before it can be cut down for distillation. Wow. So yeah, going back into what Jasmine just said about like you really are paying for the quality product that you want. So when we talk about using essential oils, like we mean a little bit goes a long way. So in a 5 milliliter bottle, you're going to have around 90 drops, which could be 90 applications, depending on, you know, if you use 1 drop or more per application. If you get a bigger bottle, which I don't really have one next to me, so we'll use this. We'll pretend that this is a 15 milliliter bottle.
16 ounces, that's close.
It will have about 250 drops. So 250 applications, depending on, you know, if you use 1 to 3 drops per application. But before we get into the really good stuff, because we're going to talk about how we use these oils, disclaimer that we are not healthcare professionals. We cannot cure, treat, diagnose, prevent anything. These are just our own experiences. But we want to share them with you because, again, like not a lot of people know about all the awesome things, how the oils benefit. So, Heather, do you want to talk about the 3 ways we use essential oils?
Yeah.
Should we do the shuffle?
We have to do the shuffle. Only if we do the shuffle. Okay. So, there are 3 ways to use an essential oil, because that's one of the biggest questions we get is, well, how do I use them, right? Okay, well, this is how. First way you can use them is topically, which means you rub it on your body, right? So if I am using like Digest, right, the non-vitality version, I can rub it on my tummy if I want to, you know, support my digestive system. Does that make sense? Okay, so that is a way. Or lavender, you know, is really good for healthy skin. So if I, like, sometimes, like, I used to get hormonal acne on my chin really bad, I would rub lavender on my chin. There, that's topical, right? Okay. The other way is aromatic, and that is through something like a diffuser. This is great if you want to diffuse, like I diffuse Thieves in my classroom, and tangerine because it smells good and because of the benefits of Thieves. And that is a really, really great way to get the healthy molecules into the air. Aromatic is diffusing, or some people like go like this and cup their hands, huff it.
I call huffing.
Snort. whatever method you prefer to call it.
My students call me a pusher at school. Just
Pusher. You push and then you huff, the oils.
Pusher's a drug seller. Drug dealer.
Just kidding.
So good. This is really oils unfiltered.
Very unfiltered right now.
I mean, that's why we got that name.
This is why.
So good.
Yeah. I hope this makes sense. So then the third way is ingesting. Ingesting is where you can either, if you're really brave, you can like shoot down the hatch, or there are those empty vegetable capsules where you can put the oils in. So Young Living makes this line. They're usually the ones with white labels called Vitality, okay? These are the ones that are typically most people would or are best for ingestion. Like we said, you don't have to worry because Young Living doesn't put anything besides the oil, besides, just the oil from the plant in any of their oils. So you're only getting just the straight oil, no matter what kind of label it has. But this is just meant for ingestion, and it pleases the FDA when we label them separately. Okay, we'll talk about that more. But so Digest Vitality, I want to support my digestive system. I might put it in a capsule or go like this. Makes sense? Same with if I wanted to make some peppermint brownies, okay? I would put a drop of peppermint in my brownie batter or make a peppermint chocolate shake, okay? So that's how you do ingestion. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, that's the three main ways. So now we're going to get into each oil and how to use them. Kylie, would you like to talk about our first oil?
I do.
Shuffle.
Oh.
Or do you want me to do it since I'm here?
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Okay, what's the first one? There.
No.
All right, the first one we're talking about is frankincense, and this is in the kit. In the kit, this comes as a non-vitality oil, but I just want to tell you that you can buy it as a vitality oil. So if you buy it as a vitality oil, that means that you can take it internally. But the kit doesn't come in that, so for FDA reasons, I'm going to say that you can diffuse this one and you can apply this topically. I like to diffuse this to help support positive emotions when I'm feeling really blue, because I go through that from time to time. I also really like to diffuse this in my classroom to help prepare for a good day, because sometimes I don't like to be in my classroom and sometimes my kids don't like being in my classroom. So I find that helps a lot as well. I apply this one topically to help support skin. This is how I first fell in love with this. I had a keloid C-section scar, and I started applying this neat, which means without any dilution, 9 months after my middle was born, and my scar looks like a very normal scar now, and there are parts in my skin where it looks like I was never cut into. So that's super awesome. If you're here in person, I don't mind sharing. Because it's a great story. It really is. And I can't, people don't believe me, a C-section scar is big. Sorry, not sorry.
No, it's
okay.
Good.
And then the Vitality one, I like to take internally anytime I'm not feeling well. It also helps with allergies. I've been forgetting to use this one on Xander. So this one helps a lot with allergies. And this one, the biggest thing is that it helps with regular cell growth. So if you have a lot of irregular cell growth, this would be a great one for you to try out to use for regular cell growth. I had some irregular cell growth at a well woman exam, and I used this for about 2.5 months along with, I made a blend with helichrysum and some blue, what's the blue one? Blue tansy?
Blue tansy.
And blue tansy. And the irregular cells were gone 2 months later. So I'm just saying what I'm saying. That was my experience. So this one I'm very fond of, and I do really love. Oh, I also added sacred frankincense to that one too. I just went all crazy with the frankincense. So that's Frank.
All right. So this is Digest Vitality. So the Vitality ones you can use internally. Heather mentioned you can put a drop. I like to either put it under my tongue or put it in a veggie capsule. I don't recommend putting a drop in a warm mug of water and making a tea out of it. It's just not my favorite tasting oil, but I like it for like this morning when I woke up with food poisoning and I had to go work at the farmer's market, and I was like, how am I even going to get there and set up and all that stuff? And so I didn't have the Vitality with me. I just had like the regular labeled one. And so I put it all over my stomach. I was able to do the things that I needed to do to deal with the food poisoning. And then I was able to go to market and work all day. And now I'm here. So I especially loved having the oils on hand for something like that. But this is also a gateway oil for my boyfriend who had food poisoning as well. And so I was like, oh my gosh, you have to use Digest. And so he did. And that was really exciting. And now he loves oils.
Because of Digest?
Because of Digest.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, yeah, Digest is one of my favorites too. It's one of I love it. Okay, this is one of my other favorites. This is Thieves, and this is one I kind of talked about earlier. When I, got sick, which is inevitable, I use this all the time. This is the Vitality. So often for me, I will put this in a capsule. I do like 10 drops in one of those empty capsules, and I will do it like every hour. I will either do this or a supplement we have called Inner Defense, which is mostly this, and plus a couple other things. So depends on what I have on hand, right? So this is amazing. This is great for supporting the immune system, or just for helping to be proactive. Like I'll put some on my glands. Like I said, I diffuse it in my classroom. And it's called Thieves because there's this legend. So during the Middle Ages and the time of the plague, there were these thieves who were robbing the dead of all their stuff. And so they got caught, and the thing is, they weren't getting sick, right? They were robbing these people who had been sick with the plague, but they weren't getting it themselves. So they got caught, and in exchange for a lesser sentence, they were said to like give up their recipe. Well, they were spice traders, and so they covered themselves with things like cinnamon, clove, lemon, all kinds of stuff like that. And that's a lot of what is in here. So this smells like very cinnamony, clovey. It's actually really good for fall because it has a lot of those like fall smells in there. It's got clove, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. So yes, it's a very nice oil. We like Thieves. Okay.
Those are the only Thieves we do like.
Yes. Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, the next is the Peppermint Vitality, and I think we talked a little bit about this like in peppermint brownies. This is one of my favorites to eat. It's great in brownies. I used to make an ice cream with it that was super good. Peppermint mochas are my jam. I'm not a pumpkin spice latte girl. I'm a peppermint mocha girl, which you can do pumpkin spice lattes with oils. We've talked a little bit about that in the Unfiltered Oilers this past 2 weeks. But I'm a peppermint mocha. Oh, I just made a hot cocoa post about this today.
Girl, you did.
See, I'm telling you. Okay, but this was my boyfriend's gateway oil, which is why I snagged this one, because George freaking loves this. It helps to clear out sinuses when you huff it. Yes, I do.
Huff it.
Huff it. So, yeah, this was his gateway oil. I also really like to use this one on tired muscles. I make it into a rub with like the Young Living V6 carrier oil or coconut oil. So this is what we call a hot oil or warm oil. So that means it feels like icy hot to the skin. So everyone's skin's a little bit different. So we always cautious with hot oils to dilute the first time to see how your body feels. The Thieves that Heather was just talking about is also a hot oil as well. I don't know if she mentioned that. But peppermint is pivotal in something that I use for my seasonal sniffles. I combine this with lemon and lavender to help.
So territorial over here.
I know. You guys are snagging all the good ones.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. I'll take them
Okay.
And so, yeah, so I really like peppermint. And then I like to soak it in the bath with this. Now, let me tell you, okay, I have this. Who has Panway?
I do.
No. So I have to tell you this story. So one of my first moments with oils was when I took a Panaway bath. Because Panaway's a hot oil, right? So it feels like Aussie hot on your muscles. And I was working out or whatever I was doing. I was like, I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to soak. My muscles will feel great. So I filled my bath with like super hot water because that's how I like my baths. And I put my 3 to 4 drops of oils into my bathtub. And I slowly dip in. And my pink parts slowly catch on fire. And I'm like, what is going on? So I get it. I dump I drain the tub and I like wash off as fast as I could. And I have little kids at home, so I can't scream because they're going to be all scared. Like, what's happening, Mom? So come to find out, you have to put salt in with your oil baths because the salt helps the oil to disperse evenly in the water so you don't have that fire feeling. So we say we take Epsom salt baths in our family, and we caution people to add salt to their water when they take baths. I do 2 handfuls to whatever amount of oils. I find that even if I use like up to 20 drops, which I have before, it's not too hot on my pink parts. So just be careful with hot oils. But anyways, I love soaking with this one, and it's good for allergies and digestion.
I love this
energy.
one for digestion.
Oh my God. So I diffused this in my kids' room this week because Xander's been struggling with allergies at night. They were up for 2.5 hours. And I was like, what is going on? And then I remembered I diffused peppermint. So don't diffuse peppermint at night, guys. Learn from me.
All right. Well, going along with Panaway, this is an awesome oil after like the gym or after hiking or after yoga. Any like sore areas, muscles, bones, ligaments, tendons, all that fun stuff. This is an oil that I keep by my bedside because I have 2 littles that sometimes come into my room at night and they're like, Mommy, my legs hurt. Give me oils. And so I will quickly get a pump of like carrier oil and I'll put a drop of the Panaway with it. And then I just slather their legs with it. And the most amazing thing is they go right back to sleep. It's awesome. So I also have used this diluted on my, I have a pit bull and she tried jumping the wall in our backyard, tried and failed. And so she, I can't remember if I took her to the vet or if I just decided what she had, but I decided to just slather her with it today.
I've decided that you have this.
I'm pretty sure she tore her ACL, but, so I was putting Panaway on it with a couple other oils diluted just all over her leg a few times a day. And it was really awesome. So, the next one up I have is Valor. So Valor is a blend of the scents, I guess, that Roman soldiers would put on themselves before they would walk into battle. And so it gives off like feelings of courage and strength, fearlessness, that kind of stuff. And so I love this one before public speaking. I'll rub it on my throat, like right here on your throat chakra. Notice that the color is like dark blue. Just saying. And so I'll use it before public speaking just to make sure that I am clearly communicating. It's also one that I use for emotional support. So if I'm going into a tough conversation, this is one that I really like to have on hand, just to make sure that I am supporting my feelings in the situation, whatever they may be. I can't remember what else I did about Valor. I think that was it.
I like Valors to help support skin. Again, that's another one that's good for scars. So like after George had surgery on his ankle, we used Valor a lot on his ankle to help support mobility and to help support the tissue to grow back.
And I know some people put it on like after a chiropractor adjustment.
Yes, it makes it last longer.
Yes.
Which is super cool.
It's a key ingredient in the raindrop, which if you know anything about the raindrop was designed to help support normal curvature of the body.
Oh, I love that.
And you think like that has a lot of tree oils, like this is good for bones.
Oh,
And trees have branches. Branches are like bones, Valor.
And then this is like going back to like how it might ease your nerves. I put this one on my daughter before her dentist appointment just because she was feeling really nervous. So great for the kiddos.
Okay.
Oh, and snoring.
Snoring. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about lavender. I love this one, especially because I don't know about you, but my allergies have been killing me. And so this is such a good allergy oil. What I like to do with the Lavender Vitality mixed with the Peppermint and Lemon Vitality is I put it, I'm telling you guys have to get those veggie capsules. They're like those empty little capsules. Young Living sells them. You can also buy them at, Sprouts or whatever. I'll do 3 drops lemon, peppermint, and lavender, and it totally helps and makes a difference. Or if I'm in a pinch, I'll just like swipe lavender in my cheek, or if I'm feeling really honest, like up my nose, and it like helps dry me up. It's so awesome. I love it. And it's okay. It's a good oil.
We'll talk about
it. Okay. Also, I like lavender for my skin. Like I told you before, I had really, really bad hormonal acne on my chin. It was like the really deep kind. And I went to a dermatologist to see what they could help me with. And they're like, oh, we're going to put you on a mild antibiotic to help clear some of that up. And I told her, I'm like, well, I've been on a lot of antibiotics already because I've been getting a lot of side infections. This is pre-oils. And she's like, I'm kind of nervous about taking another one because I heard that's not good, right? So she was like, well, it should be fine. But if your tongue starts turning blue, just, call me right away. Like, if you see little blue spots, that's not good. So I'm like, okay. And that is kind of one of the things that pushed me to okay, well, what else could I do in this situation, So I started using lavender. What I do is I have like a dime size of jojoba oil, any fatty carrier oil, but I use jojoba, 2 drops of lavender. I go like this at night and I put it all over my face, and it's wonderful. I love it. I haven't had a problem since. Honestly, it's amazing. So yeah. And that is lavender. Skin and allergies. That's what I've used them for the most, and it's great. Okay. Stress Away is the name, Stress Away. So if I were to describe Stress Away, have you ever been to Bath & Body Works and smelled like their coconut lime flavor? This is kind of what it smells like, except without all the nasty stuff. Okay, it's got like lime, vanilla bean extract. It's got cedarwood, and it smells very like, imagine like lime and vanilla. It's very happy. It's very calming.
Beach vacation.
Beach vacation. I love it. So you put it behind like your ears or whatever for like perfume. One time in the classroom, I got candy for my kids, and I couldn't stop eating the candy. And so it smells kind of sweet. So I heard, oh, you should use it for like sugar cravings or chocolate cravings. So I did, and it was actually like, it was helpful for me in that moment. It's really good for that. A lot of people just carry it on hand. And then they just like slather it on when they're having a stressful day. I've done it. It's amazing. Can't go without it. Oh, you know what? Speaking, she was talking about baths. This is one of my favorite in like a bath. For like any type of spa DIY.
They make the bath bombs.
They make the bath bombs out of this. I also love making sugar scrubs out of this. Like you do some coconut oil, you do some organic raw sugar, and you do like 20 drops of this in like a little mason jar, and you rub it. It makes the best like spa DIY gifts. Like that's what I use this one for a lot. And then Raven is like great for like if I've used this if I've had like breathing issues. I've diffused it with Thieves and the diffuser, and it has been awesome at night. Like, if you if for some reason you need respiratory support, Raven is awesome. It helps you breathe, helps me breathe like free and clear. Also good to put a couple drops in the shower. And I just tell you, like everything just like opens up. It's awesome. This one is great. If you have anyone with like, need support with, help support normal breathing, this is a really, really super good one. I love it.
I just met, this is total tangent, but I was thinking normal breathing. I think her name's Bryce. I just met her, Christina and I just met her today at the rally. She was helping greeting, and she was telling us that she puts geranium on her tongue for her asthma attacks. Super interesting.
Gross. Never knew that, but that's cool. Cool.
Because geranium is a part of the, no, bergamot. The one that
bergamot.
Thank you for saying gross. Bergamot.
I was like, what?
Because that's a part of the vitality.
Oh.
Bergamot Vitality. Not geranium.
Not geranium. Okay. I like it. Okay. Never knew. I love it. All right, Jasmine. You're out.
All right. So the two that I got at the end is Lemon Vitality, and this is
I got last pick.
I did get last pick. But Heather got Kylie's got the last one. We'll talk about that later. But so Lemon Vitality is great to add to water. So this is a great one that a lot of people, when I first started, were like, oh my gosh, this helps me drink so much more water, because it helps to support the lack of flavor, or it helps to support flavor in water.
If you don't like boring flavors, which it helps it not be boring.
So this one's great. But what I learned about this is that lemon is great at supporting your liver, in your gallbladder, in your digestive system. So people who do drink lemon in their water tend to notice that they are going to the bathroom more regular, because it helps to support some of that flushing out. I also really like this in my toothpaste. It helps to brighten my teeth a little bit, but now that we have the whitening paste, I'll be honest, I haven't used this for that purpose. This is also a really good one to add during the winter seasons. I make like a homemade cough syrup of local raw honey from my friend who has a bee farm. And then I slice up a whole lemon. I add some fresh-ish, I mean, you can't get fresh, but fresh cinnamon, like freshly ground cinnamon, there we go. And then I add turmeric and black pepper to it, and then I add some drops.
Delightful.
I add some drops of lemon and Thieves to it, and it helps to support our immune system and our throats. This is one that I also diffuse a lot when I just need a quick pick-me-up, because sometimes I just want something bright and airy, and I find that lemon's a great one. Sometimes when I couple this with peppermint, it's like that 1-2 punch to like get up and go and be happy about going.
Yes.
And like I mentioned earlier, this has been a pivotal oil for me in supporting my and Xander's allergies, along with lavender and peppermint. And so I combine them together.
I agree.
And then the last one that I have, which is one of my favorites, and I'll tell you about this, is Peace and Calming. So true story, I actually hated Peace and Calming for a super long time. I didn't like the way it smelled, and quite frankly, I still don't totally like the way it smells. It's not my favorite. I much prefer Joy, which is kind of weird. I know most people don't like Joy. They like Peace and Calming better.
Special bird.
I am a special bird, a special flower. But in my third pregnancy, I dealt with a lot of anxiety, and I was having struggles sleeping early on in the pregnancy that did carry throughout the whole pregnancy. And this was the only oil that helped me to sleep. And not only did it just like make me sleep, but like I slept. And so I have fallen in love with this oil because of what it did for me in that pregnancy. I also had 2 preterm babies, and my third pregnancy, I was getting early contractions. Not like, what are those called?
Braxton Hicks?
Yeah, I was getting Braxton Hicks, but really early Braxton Hicks, and I knew that I had early babies, so I really didn't want that. So I was slathering this all over my stomach, and I noticed that my those Braxton Hicks became less and less. And they definitely were not as intense. And so I do really appreciate this oil. And it's one that I actually reach for very often. And I would say like Digize, it's not something that I really started liking, but I've grown very fond of it, and I won't go without anymore. So when they had it in the 15 milliliters a couple months ago, I bought 2 of them. I qualified for 2 of them. You had to qualify for them, right?
Yeah.
I qualified for 2 because I don't want to go without it anymore. So
no,
you don't want to.
It's a dark day.
All right, so this is the last oil that we're going to talk about, which is called Citrus Fresh. You guys, this oil is absolutely delicious. So I will put it in. So with this oil, similar to lemon vitality, you can put it in your water. It tastes yummy. I'll make natural like sodas out of it, like using
so good.
sparkling water or LaCroix.
It's so good in LaCroix.
So good. And then I love adding like a drop to smoothies. I make a lot of smoothies. And then I know some people that will do like a fruit and yogurt dip with a drop of this in it.
That is good.
Yeah, so you guys are like bashing this one.
Because okay, here's the thing. Like, I would love to hear testimonials that don't deal with food.
So this one has all the citrus in it, which can be really good for cleansing the systems of your body.
Kind of immune
But
system.
you're eating
So for the regular label one, you can rub it on topically underneath your pants so that you don't get sunburned when you walk into the sun.
I don't understand what you're going with.
You can rub it on topically. Like, I know a lot of people have used this for
so
like
Kylie, I know.
But citrus are photosensitive oils.
Right, so you would use it under like your clothes.
Or use it aromatic.
But I wouldn't get burned under my clothes in the sun.
Kylie, you're the one who told me. No, you told me about this oil, what you do, and I think it's great.
I forgot.
So citrus oils are known for supporting the emotions. This is like almost every citrus oil in it. Kylie says she diffuses this oil when she talks about finances or does her finances to help with like stressful topics, and I thought that was really cool.
It is.
But that would obviously not be the Vitality one. That would be the regular one, the topical aromatic one, right? Even though
so citrus oils can be very happy oils, and so great to diffuse. It has a little bit of spearmint in it too, just to kind of give it
a little pet, little
mint. So super yummy oil.
And a side note on spearmint, it does not make you wired like peppermint.
Okay.
Good to know.
So we diffuse that in the book.
Actually, I love this one.
I do love it, but I don't know like what to use it for. Aside from
like for being totally honest, unfiltered.
Petrochemical weight loss.
Is that citrus fresh or is that?
That was citrus fresh and grapefruit and ledum.
Yeah.
But
so you can research that.
Petrochemical weight loss.
Petrochemicals. It tastes great in water. Super fresh. Happy smells. Happy feelings.
All the things.
That's good.
Okay. So how can you get these oils? You are going to go to youngliving.com and you are going to plug in the member number of the person who referred you, most likely in both boxes because there's 2 boxes. So ask the person who introduced you to Young Living for their member number. I know for me, like I am all about budget and getting good deals. And so what I found is that this is the kit, the starter kit that we are going over is the only thing on the website that is 50% off. Like $165 for like $400 worth of stuff is just crazy amazing.
It's unheard of.
Unheard of. So what's awesome too is if you took the diffuser, because you guys will get a diffuser, if you take this diffuser away, then you're getting like 11 bottles therapeutic grade oil for like, I don't know, $70.
12 bottles.
$12 each?
12 bottles of oils.
Oh, 12 bottles, thank you. So yeah, so $70. So you can't even get it that cheap in a grocery store. Each bottle has 90 applications or drops. You can't.
I know, people be all like,
oh my God.
So yeah, like when people are like, I just want one oil, I'm like, but wait, these are the oils you're going to use every day. So, you know, you're going to be able to incorporate them in all the things and not just use one oil for one thing. Wow. So then when we go back to Thieves, like it's 6 cents a drop. And so like who wouldn't pay 6 cents to like dull the pain of an aching tooth? Crazy stuff. You're also going to get other goodies. You're going to get these like really super cool roller tops that you can put on any of the bottles. Peace and calming, stress away, pan away, just quickly roll it on. You're also going to get sample packs, sachets of their like superfood antioxidant drink that will give you all the enzymes, minerals, and nutrients that your body needs in the day, especially with the American diet. We are not drinking the things that our body is craving. And so I'll drink one of these a day, or I'll have, you know, me and my kids do shots every morning.
Shot.
Because we're really cool like that. So, and sometimes we'll add like a vitality oil, like a drop to our little shot. But, you know, Gwen sometimes will be like, I want it to taste like orange. And so, I mean, it's your dark red berries, but we just like to add flavor to
I've
everything.
been doing Thieves and Orange to make like a pumpkin spice shot. You wouldn't think it would be good, but it's actually really good. It actually works.
Pumpkin
and it's awesome.
spice?
Sort of just Thieves and Orange. So like cinnamon, not Thieves. Cinnamon bark and orange.
Oh, there we go.
Really, really super good in it. Just a thought.
And then you're also going to get the Thieves hand purifier, which is awesome for when you're on the go. You just want to clean your hands without yucky, toxic stuff that you'll find in other hand sanitizers. And then the Thieves spray. Oh my gosh, guys. It's so great. I like this one for spraying down like shopping carts, or like when you're getting gas at the pump and you don't want to touch it because you just imagine all the other people who just touched it. Or like surfaces, you know. So these are things that you're most likely like buying somewhere in some store. And so I love that it all comes together with a really good deal, and you can just switch it out for chemical-free products. It also includes a membership, so you're going to get 24% off every future purchase. After you get your kit, you're going to meet with whoever introduced you, or maybe if you're out of town, we'll ship it to you, but you're going to get lots of goodies from us. We're going to make sure that you have all the resources that you need to answer your questions as you hop in on this amazing journey. You'll get added to a active Unfiltered Oilers Facebook group where you will learn even more stuff than just what we're sharing with you tonight.
Yeah.
You'll have the option to become to be a part of a Essential Rewards program, which is a monthly ordering program. We talk about there's like subscription boxes everywhere with everything.
Like succulents?
Everywhere.
Succulents.
Everything.
Does a succulent
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, so you'll have to let us know what is the most recent subscription box you've heard of. But I love this one because this is like our wellness box. We get to choose what products come in it, if we want to get more oils, or the Nixia Red, or, you know, the Thieves household cleaner. Our supplements come to us every month. And what I like is that it only has to be a minimum of 50 PV, so like $50-ish. You get to choose your processing date, if it's at the beginning or the middle or the end of the month. You choose whatever, and you can cancel anytime, but you're not going to want to, because you'll get gifts at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and a year, and then every year after. You know, Young Living is so generous. You'll get the rewards points back plus gifts.
And the rewards points get more the longer you're on it.
Mm-hmm.
So months 1 through 3, it's 10. Then like 4 through 24 is like 20%. Then once you hit the 2-year mark, the 24 months, you get 25% back. So, you know, if you do like $100, because that's really easy math, you get 25, like pretty much dollar for dollar points saved up in a little bank. And it's really awesome.
So, I mean, if you walk into Target, you're going to get maybe 5% back on your credit card. And so I have not heard of a company that will give you back a quarter of what you spend. Freaking awesome. So anyway, there's just a lot of fun things. So if you guys have any questions, definitely let us know. Last but not least, this is our small business. Like, this is, you know, something that we jumped into several years ago and have just had so much fun sharing with other people and getting to know each other along the way. If you look at Young Living's income tax disclosure, like, look up what the average silver makes and what the average gold makes. It is crazy to be able to compare that to maybe what you are making now, or maybe what you're not making now. Like, if you have any financial goals, you know, we're here to help you with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not only are we wellness coaches wanting to help you find the oils and supplements that your body needs, but, you know, we want to help teach you about, like, the business side of Young Living and what sharing it looks like and just how much fun we have doing it. And then if you are more interested in that, we can send you a book that talks about.
Yeah.
But we appreciate all of you for making it onto this call. And you guys are such an amazing support and joining us on this journey. So we will
leave you to your night. Have an amazing Saturday night or whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got good stuff out of it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask whoever sent you to this or any of us.
And then don't forget to check the pinned post in Unfiltered Oilers for upcoming classes.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
Good.